The Grappling Hour is brought to you by Gear, athletic support items created by grapplers for grapplers.
Yeah. Check it out.
What's up, friends? So check this out. It is, 12:28 over here on Best Coast time. Right now, I am watching Polaris 12. Didn't even know. Oh, that didn't work. That just 10th planet that. So that's 1, 2. Does that work? Either way. Right now, we are at the tail end of Marcin Held and PJ Barch. It looks like there's just a couple minutes left to go on this one. So we're doing a watch-along companion show for this important telecast. I hope that you guys are enjoying your day. Right now, Marcin Held is being tended to. It looks like they are trying to wipe away a little bit of the blood at the top corner of his eye. They return back. They're standing up right now. This match has been really, really good. Now, in case you forgot how scoring works for Polaris, they actually take each 5-minute round of the overall 15 minutes, no breaks. And they have 2 judges, maybe 3, decide who is the more aggressive during this time. Right now, Marcin Held is trying to make a strong closing statement with 1:53 left to go in the round. PJ is on the defensive, trying to get out of trouble for the noted leg locker, and already gets to pass, gets his knee to belly. However, Marcin starts to invert and come back on it. Looks like he's trying to now work to isolate the leg to see if he can go ahead and move him on over again. And this has kind of been the story of the game thus far. I hope you guys have been enjoying your viewing day of Polaris. What is this? Polaris 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Polaris 12 is what we're watching right now. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Of course, I'll be trying to take your guys' comments as we are watching throughout the evening or the day, depending on where you are. Marcin Held tried for a little bit of a single snatch over here. 1 minute left to go entirely. So that's what we got going on for you guys today. I will be joining you for as long as humanly possible on today's Polaris Pro watch and critique. I mean, really, we're just watching it. PJ now is stuffed an attempt, is looking to round the back. Marcin kind of inverts. PJ has an arm around the neck. It's not enough to really secure much, except he is now back in half guard over on this side. Pretty exciting sequence. This is going to be a difficult one to score. Look like for a split second, PJ was going to start attacking the arm here. Marcin returns in kind, trying to invert and see if he can snag a leg. There's a little bit of a stiff arm. PJ continues to follow him all the way to the back as Marcin inverts, goes right back to guard, gets a leg in between. Marcin from bottom trying to get his own Kimura attack to try and lift PJ. It does for a split second, but PJ is not in any immediate danger and survives it. I don't know if you guys have been watching this the whole time. If you've been watching the prelims, extra credit points to you. I don't know if we do them like Gryffindor or something like that, where it's like 4 points to Gryffindor or some bullshit like that. Anyway, so that's what we're looking at right now. Of course, our good friend Josh Palmer is commentating over on the other side of the pond on this one. It's been, from what I could hear so far, he hasn't screwed it up too much yet. So that's nice to know. I guess my first question for you guys is, in case you didn't hear it the first time, is who do you have winning that bout? Did you have PJ or did you have Marcin Held? Which, by the way, Marcin Held, and I don't think we've talked about this enough, Marcin Held sounds like an incomplete name. Marcin Held, what? Phone? Marcin held a pancake? Marcin held a zip folder. Like, I don't know. We get to the decision right now. It is a little sad that they don't have the dude who was the makeshift between Oddjob and The Undertaker commentating this one. They have announced PJ Barch as the winner of this one. The crowd seems drunk enough to not truly understand it, which is normal for a Polaris crowd. They're probably going to get over. They hand him a ceremonial medal as if he is an IBJJF competitor. And now he's going to go on over to Josh Palmer. This is an important thing. This is good to note that it was a split decision, so that is important. It does look like there's a little bit of a tape delay on the mouth, as if it's kind of a Japanese dub. PJ says that he needs to get his cardio back, and I mean, here's the thing. PJ is just returning back from a long layoff due to his injury, and if you've seen this guy's recovery methods, it intense. You know, this man is he's pushing himself pretty hard to get back to the regular competition circuit. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do this year's West Coast trials, but this year's East Coast trials, I mean, he looked really, really good for ADCC, and unfortunately had to get cut short due to that. Kay is asking, has Polaris 2 started yet? Why is that so dark? Let's fix that right now while I'm on air with you guys. Yes, it has started. I want to ask though, did you just wake up? Like, where are you coming to right now? Let's see if we got that going on. Oh God, no, it got worse. All right, so I'm gonna fix this in terms of color. But yes, Polaris 2 or Polaris 12 has just started. The first match has gone on. It's quite entertaining. PJ Barch and, of course, the amazing one. There we go. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Boom. Hopefully that works a little bit better. I'll have to fix this. I still don't like the look of how that looks. But yes, Polaris 12 started. We're in the middle of watching it, so we're going to be here with you all day. Oh, God. I can hear my voice on that one. Taking your questions, taking your... Am I taking calls? I don't know. We'll figure that out. I can, theoretically, take people's calls. So let's see here. Let's go background. You guys are going to see how the sausage is made. I'm actually going to change how the background looks right now, because I do not like how bad that effect looks in the background. What time is Nick versus Luke? So they are the main event. I would argue they'll be somewhere close to the 2:30 region. Don't quote me on that one. So if you're just watching right now, it's about, let's say, about 2 hours out. Are you excited for that one? What have you guys thought about the comments that Luke Rockhold has said about jiu-jitsu? He says he doesn't like the direction in which jiu-jitsu has been heading lately. And I believe the quotation was, and it's fairly damning, that he was saying recently, was that he believes it's all now steroids. You know, which intense, y'all. People hate being accused of steroids. Somebody who does not must seem to mind being told that they're on steroids with a good sense of good nature. Both Nicky Rodriguez and Gordon Ryan. Two people who just kind of go, okay. Right now we've got Johnson versus S. Fanmez. That's a name I will not be pronouncing well. But Devontae will be coming up next in case you guys are waiting for that one. It is very cool. It does look like they are doing a BJJ Fanatics one. Jake Wassif. Miss you, brother. Miss you, mate. Lanker or Burns? Lanker or Burns? I don't know, man. I feel like Burns is really good and on the sneak quiet, so I would give him a little bit of an advantage on this one. Let's put this one up for you guys. Damn, this coloring is so off on this. But, you know, it's hard to say, honestly. The weirdest part about when we get these guys who come back from, like, the UFC and who go fight, and then come back over to do some kind of weird grappling competition back again is always like, man, where did they leave off? Are they still super good? Are they crazy bad? Like, where do we see them on this? And Burns is one of those guys who sneaks up on you. I mean, he's had some good matches. I believe he had a really good match against John Combs that was pretty badass to watch. So definitely some folks to keep an eye on. So it's interesting. I mean, Polaris this is now what, their 12th iteration of an event. So it's been kind of weird and wild to see their ride, because a lot of their matches, and they're showing a highlight reel of it right now, but a number of their matches were both like gi and no gi. And it almost seems like they're starting to sift away a little bit more and more from the gi, especially for the main card, which I don't know that I can blame them, just in terms of trying to give people something fun to watch that the model or the business is kind of leading toward. It seems like more and more people want the no gi sort of thing. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I don't know. Who do you got on that one? I'll let you guys go ahead and fight over who you think should be or should not be winning that one. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back to our original prompt, which was, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but one Luke Rockhold, again, was just voicing his displeasure. Also, let's discuss this. Right now I'm looking at my phone, and I mean, this entertains me. I don't know how much it's going to entertain you guys. But when you look at it, look at the possibilities. So it's Luke Rockhold and then Luke Rockhold with 3 hearts, which begs the question, was 2 hearts too little? Is 3 hearts way more important? Luke Rockhold feat also has fewer than 100 posts, by the way. So Luke Rockhold Invitational. Where do these come from? Like, what the fuck are half of these? Luke Rockhold Day also has fewer than 100 posts. Luke Rockhold Me? It sounds like a bad 80s Whitesnake song. Let's go and explore what Luke Rockhold has said. I don't want to go to the Luke Rockhold 3 hearts thing. So I just want to see what recently he did say. This is kind of weird. Oh no. Some of these are so mean, dude. Oh god. I mean, let's see what this says. Yeah, okay. I'll accept this one. That one's from England itself, so kudos to them. When you've talked a big game on text, but she's stolen your souls in minutes and ready for round 2. Yep. This one I don't understand. Like, if you are a athlete who competes on a large platform such as the UFC, getting to that moment when you're just skateboarding, because bro, you just got bored, man. You just gotta get on that board and head on out, bro. I'm surprised that one's not under the aforementioned Luke Rockhold 3 hearts setup, but I digress. Anyway, we'll have more for you on this as soon as we're able to find his exact quotation on it. It's really ridiculous. To his credit, though, Luke Rockhold was very complimentary of his opponent in Nicky Rodriguez in this one, where it says, it's nice to have a guy that's at least going to go toe-to-toe at least. Which is true. I mean, Nicky Rodriguez, still relatively new to the world of competitive grappling and jiu-jitsu, but now is an ADCC silver medalist, trains with the Danaher crew. And Luke, the weirdest part about this matchup is, the momentum obviously with Nicky Rodriguez, but Luke Rockhold is not somebody whose jiu-jitsu you can sleep on. You've heard from a lot of notable people, I think most notably being Buchecha, as saying, hey man, his jiu-jitsu is really good. He gives me a hard time. And Luke, to his own credit, will go on and talk about how good he is, independent of that, saying the same thing. So you got that going on for you. But yes, that is what's going on. So between that and him saying how disappointed he is with the sport of jiu-jitsu, it is interesting. I got Laniger, but if he loses, drinks are on me, says Jake Wassif. Let's fix this. I really want this background to be good. It is fun to see exactly how this comes together because normally the old preset on this one was actually really good. I know what it is. Okay, so let's switch the two. Let's go full white, and then boom. I don't think that did anything. Anyway, you guys are really seeing how crazy this is to make on this stupid thing. All right, I'm going to X that out. We're in the second match right now. It is 14 minutes left to go. Devontae and the other guy. I don't know him that well. Of course, the gentleman who Devontae is going up against is wearing a pure jiu-jitsu rash guard. Devontae, they circle back, head back over to the center of the mat. The referee sets them back up, standing again. Pummeling just to see who can get some control over here. It's always interesting to note all the individuals who are sitting on the side at this Polaris. They just kind of chill over there, and there's not much moving on there. So it is intriguing to go. For those of you wondering what the hell else has been happening, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Polaris account. I did not see the prelims, but according to their very reliable social media team, you missed a lot of action if you missed it. So let's see, Polaris. Let's go to Polaris Professional. Let's see over here. I mean, that looks like a pretty dope photo right here. So let's go straight to showing you guys what happened earlier. Boom. That's pretty dope. They're saying non-stop submissions in our preliminary matches. Check out the results below. In their prelim matches, you were able to see Natasha Seville Gregorian defeating Jamie Hughes via reverse triangle choke. You had Fred Greenall defeating Shane Price via armbar. Jeremy Skinner defeating Egon Flanagan via heel hook. Frederick Varsgron defeats Ash Amos via guillotine. Craig Ewers defeats Liam Can versus decision. Steven Ramos, friend of the show, defeats Jet Justus. Let's discuss this name for a second. So it says Just Us. Justice? Is his name Justice? Because that would be so badass. Defeats Justice Goshnell via decision. Shane Fishman defeats Stefan Petrov via heel hook, and Espen Mathewson defeats Brian Jenkins via armbar. So those were the results that happened earlier in the day. Let's just sift through some of these photos, which look pretty amazing. One of the things that you can always count on with Polaris is when they bring it on their photo game. I will say, though, this photo that they have here, they've used... Again, I'm kind of against that rule. Like, once you put it out into the ether, I think you have to just rest and say, like, hey, no moss here. But it seems like you look at that one photo, very nice. We had an actual gi match, which is dope. That match, okay, so look at this photo right here. Go to their main page. They used it again. Verboten. I do not believe you can do that sort of a thing. Like, literally have someone else take 10 more photos. Or just give me another goddamn photo. Amateurs. Here again, we have both. This is what I was looking at to potentially meme, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to meme this one. But the look on their faces, just like between Nicky Rodriguez and Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold is shaking Nicky Rodriguez's hand, who looks down and to the side as if they've made some sort of weird arrangement. Like at the end of it, it looks like Luke Rockhold shaking it. It's like, hey man, whoever wins this gets your girl. I don't know. What do you guys think of that one? Do you have a good meme for that? Because I stared at it for a little while and then I just said, nah. Of course, this one kind of looks like Luke Rockhold's checking out Nicky Rodriguez's package, being honest. Kind of looks and says, all right, let's see what's down there, buddy. This one I'm also very excited with. We'll see it a little bit later today. And this is the one between Ash Williams, friend of the show, and also friend of the show, Red Alarcon, a.k.a. Richard Alacon. Like the two of them are super good, man. So I've got a lot of vested interest in this one. We will be Switzerland on this one and not taking any sides because both these individuals are pretty badass. So anyway, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, all that good ish, hit us up in the comments section. We're going to be integrating your guys' comments as we watch Polaris 12 together. Back at 9:20 on the match in front of us over here. Not much has changed. They're still trying to feel each other out. We haven't once really gotten to the ground for an extended period of time, as Devontae is, I don't think he's struggling as much as he is just trying to find his in. The gentleman that he is facing on this one is a little bit of a brick and really not giving it. It's like they almost like miniaturized Tex Johnson, and that's the opponent that they have, but he probably just speaks with a more incoherent language accent. So they're doing the same thing on the show, which is they're just plugging the rest of the card. So if you guys are wondering the difference between what I do and what's on the actual broadcast, it's not that different. They're literally just kind of like, hey man, we got to kind of make this one interesting if we can. So very excited about that. I would also like to give big props up. I know that we've mentioned PJ Barch as winning his last match right now, but if you guys have known anything about PJ, it's that, hey man, he's come back from a rough injury. I think this is one of his first at-bats since, and he looked good, man. I know he was talking a little bit about getting his cardio back up, but that was definitely one of the most prominent aspects of his game pre-injury, but it was really cool to see him back and just kicking ass again. So I got a lot of respect for the PJ Barch, and very happy to see him back in competition mode. So we'll be, I'm sure, seeing a lot more of him coming up very, very soon. Anyway, what's up, Gabe? What's up, Aiden? Good to see you guys. Hope you are enjoying the telecast in front of you. We are at a stop again in this match. 7:33. They are now going over to Talamoth. What a great moment to have a ref that just looks at you and goes, hey, bud, you know what you can use right now? Let's towel you off a little bit. You're getting a little sweaty in the face, bud. I just want to make sure you're good. You good, bro? Let's make sure you're good. They return 7-11 back to go on this match. They continue to just kind of play an extended game of Mercy, which has been the main story of the match so far. From what I can hear on the telecast, it seems like they're kind of struggling to figure out exactly a way to call it. I would say at about the 5-minute mark, we'll probably see some version of a turn to the floor, just because these things go in case you guys are unfamiliar. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we'll go ahead and repeat it for those of you watching now. The way they do the scoring on this is it's one 15-minute round. However, in those 15 minutes, they then judge them in 3 5-minute increments. So it actually becomes a 3-round match that they just don't take breaks for. It's just one extended 15-minute round that are evaluated in 5-minute blocks. It's weird. Anyway, the first 2 rounds, it's kind of hard to really facilitate somebody who is going to do much in this particular game because they're just kind of pushing each other around. However, when we start getting closer to the end, it will be interesting to see how they evaluate what is considered the aggression or what is considered, I guess, mat control, because that's really all we've been seeing so far. Again, Devontae is actually super good. He's a really game competitor. It's just sometimes you get matched up with somebody who, for whatever reason, you guys aren't really producing a great match. So let's make that very clear. And of course, grappling be hard. So let's never forget that. All right. We're circling the 5-minute mark, which is going to be the final period, which would, in my estimation, make it so that somebody has to do something here. While we're in this moment, I want to give you guys the opportunity to potentially chat about yesterday's quintet. And if you did not see yesterday's quintet, y'all missed out. I know it's on super late, but man, it was good. It was a lot of fun. And major props to our good friend Gio Martinez. Gio Martinez was doing the commentary for that one, and I thought he actually did a fantastic job. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. But I can maybe show you one of these clips. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up right here. I thought, like, the Team Carp Diem ended up winning the whole thing, and they put on a pretty good show for us. But if you didn't get the opportunity to see moments like this, I want to make sure that you get the opportunity to see something like this. This was one of the more crazy submissions that they had on Polaris yesterday. And check out this right here. So this is not only a rear naked choke, but it's still a calf crusher. Like, just the absurdity of being like, what am I even tapping to? And the rest of the team reaction, I didn't see that. That was great. The rest of the team's reaction, like, huh? What? Oh. All right, back in the action on the screen. We've got Devontae actually now starting to push the action. And he over here, oh, by the way, I have a different camera setup. Is this one over here? Huzzah. I'm able to do 2 camera setup right now. We may have 3 a little bit later. Let's go back to where our main camera is over here. 3:31 left to go. They're going to stand them up again. God damn it. No, put them back on the ground. Yay. Okay, good. They're still stopping it for some reason. Looks like Devontae's opponent is blinking very hard. It looks like he's having a hard time seeing, which is unfortunate because, you know, you never want your opponent to go out that way. And I don't know that Devontae is really doing anything super crazy like eye poking him on purpose. Oh, cool. They just gave him a towel again. They're going to show when they're standing up right now. It was a pull to guard attempt. Devontae, nothing doing on it. Starts to work to go ahead and pass. I think this is when they're going to show a potential eye poke of some sort. Devontae tries to do double unders, and as he tries to do it, pushes aside. So yeah, they're showing right now the bulk of the action. I didn't really see where the eyes got poked on any of that. And there was some movement, so I'm sure it could have happened. But yes, that was just mostly a replay to show you some of the... No, they're standing back up. God damn it. Good. He pulls guard. Okay, good. I'm just saying, we saw 10 minutes of that. We're good. Devontae now kind of in an open guard, looking to pass Staples across the knee, doesn't quite get it. Now pushes to the other side, attempts to see if he can get something going. Swings out the leg, but of course his opponent pushes off of him with a platform. Now a little bit of grips from the seated guard. 2 of them not much doing, playing mercy. One seated, Devontae trying to pass from standing, pushes the arms aside, sees if he can go ahead and go back to the right-hand side to switch over to the left. Almost successfully does it, and now finally secures. However, his opponent does a great job of stiff-arming him up to try and pass or get back up. Devontae now back into a half guard as the process goes. And we're standing back up. I wish we weren't. 2:28 left to go on this round. If you guys are watching this, I'm so glad that we can be either watching it with you or informing you on what is happening because you were too cheap to buy it yourself. And don't get me wrong, we've all been there, guys. We've all been at that spot where we've not wanted to buy a UFC Fight Pass because there's very little on there that is really kind of worth your dime at this point. I literally went on to sign into my UFC Fight Pass and it was like, are you sure? Dude, you watched this 2 times in like one night. Are you okay? So that's to show you what kind of hurt they're currently in. I want to also go over the fact that yesterday on their we talked about Geo being great. If you didn't get the opportunity, this is something that I think could be a very fun format going forward. But Sakuraba actually competed in what was referred to as an Ironman match. Now, for me, growing up as an Ironman match, it meant Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, which, of course, was an epic 1-hour Ironman match. And I thought, would they really take up that much time? Like, what do they mean, Ironman match? And so Sakuraba said, you know, hey, we sometimes see in the gym who can get the most taps in a certain amount of time. To which he then fully stated, and we had a good time commentating with and playing a little bit with. But he's like, yeah, so when I'm doing that game, though, it's not long. So we put up this comment in response to it. He said, I'm getting sold. 5 minutes is my time limit. But we joked and said, when one of the super athletic teammates at your gym asks why you've changed the clock before rolling with them, it's because I'm old, bitch. You guys are lucky I'm gracing you with my presence. Anyway, it was a fun excursion match. I would highly implore you guys to go check that one out. It is super, super good. And I think it's a new opportunity to do something, to see two fighters who are willing to kind of go crazy a little bit more. Maybe give them the opportunity to do something like that. And that would be a lot of fun. So, a good format, but it's very heavily dependent on the type of fighters you get in, because if we're watching this match in Iron Man rules, it's not super great. All right, the match concludes. I think you're probably going to see Devontae win just based on attempting to pass. Anyway, that's what I got. What's up, Gus? Good to see you, sir. It's been a fun day so far. Oh, there was the push off of the mats. That was a moment of the match, which, sure. Trying to see what else we got going over there. We had one thing that people had kind of put out there into the ether, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say while we have a minute, which is this week it got some steam over from the Bleacher Report, who put up who is on your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers. And it includes Ric Flair, The Rock, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, obviously, I have people who I think are missing from this, but I would love to hear who you guys think is missing from it, if anybody is missing, in your opinion. Go ahead and hit us up in the comments. We have the results over here. It already looks like they're starting to waver and go over toward Devontae, and they do. Congratulations to him. That was not a great match. So, no disrespect. However, Josh Palmer is already on the mats and interviewing him, and I will turn back to you guys. If you are enjoying this, give us some hearts, give us some likes, some moons, all of the good jazz. We always appreciate you guys giving us the love that you do. If you also would care to maybe, I don't know, share this or, tell your friends to watch, that would be super great too, because we're trying to make this a nice little community environment. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to share this on my Facebook and let my friends know we doing this right now, my friends. I don't know if you guys are at all interested or knowledgeable of this, but this time, I believe next week, there on Flow Grappling will be the return of Third Coast Grappling, our good friends who are putting on a show. We very much look forward to seeing them put it on, but that's going to be the big one with Gordon Ryan and Bo Nichols, which going to be intense. Like, I don't know how that rule set's going to work. I know they've explained it. It's whoever gets more points, or if somebody gets a submission. I just kind of think of it as some batshit rules that we're just gonna do just because, Herb Earth is crazy, dude. So we gotta do something, put that on there. I believe later this week I may be talking with Ryan, the individual behind Third Coast Grappling. So we'll be very excited to get in touch with him, chat with him about what he thinks is going on, how he put it together, all of that sort of good stuff. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and share this on over on the Verbal Tap page. And then if you guys want to do so on your social media, that would be fantastic. We're watching Polaris Pro Invitational right now. Join us. And it looks like Devontae's opponent, who again, I've not really learned his name, he is playing to the crowd and saying something to the effect of, yay, Jiu-jitsu. Huzzah. All right. So that's what we got going on right now for you guys on that side of the world. I'm now going to go ahead and start. Ooh, Michelle Nicolini up against Vanessa English. Okay, I missed the hell out of Michelle Nicolini. They had some of the funnest matches with Nicolini and Dern, and oh man, those were, I think, like those were some of the best moments of like the early Polaris days. And from there, we definitely had Michelle became a fan of our show from all of that. I didn't know that, she just was always sending us a very nice and encouraging note. So I think it's pretty dope. And it's really great when you see grapplers like the show that you do and they like your humor. And we very much always root for her. A commercial for Tatami, which is a good time to remind you guys, thanks to our sponsor, Luda Gear. Luda Gear. They are an amazing brand. They are great individuals. I'm sure you see them always promoted on our shows, but they always take care of us. If you guys are just joining us right now, first off, hello. We hope you want a friend to watch and enjoy the festivities for Polaris with. And, if you're not happy to see us, well, then you can go fuck off. But for the most part, I think everybody here is in for a good time to be chatting some grappling and chatting some... Who's doing the extreme discounts? This commercial's not bad. Scramble did a good job. Good for you guys. I don't know how you can get around the rights issues, though, on some of these clips. Weird. Anyway, here's what we got going on. I'm going to go ahead and go live also right now on the Instagram. So give me a second. Boom. Here we go. All right. Anyway, I believe Michelle Nicolini is going to be coming up next, and we are very excited about that possibility of the type of matches that that she can bring. Hello, friends of Instagram. If you're just joining us right now, we're doing a Let's Watch Along to Polaris 12. We're very excited to have you guys joining us right now. Michelle Nicolini is a badass. What's up, Tex? Hope you're doing well as well, sir. Very excited to see so many of you guys joining us. Again, if you're watching here, you can also watch along on our YouTube page at Grappling Hour, on Facebook Live right now at Grappling Hour as well. We try to make it so that you guys can find us anywhere and everywhere. What's up, Cody Bollinger? What is up, young Kevin? It's been an exciting day so far. PJ Barch had a really good match. The second match with Devontae was, not great. But we're going to go past that and go straight into Michelle Nicolini. So, you tell me what you see kind of deal. Yeah, Cody, that's exactly what a Let's Watch is, dork. It's for you guys who are too poor to watch or buy Fight Pass. So then your good friend Rafa Sparza helps you out by telling you and describing what it looks like. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I can actually show you some of the clips of things that happened just short of showing you the actual event. Let's do it. You put me in. I don't know what that means. What am I doing? I'm not fighting you, am I? Because I'm not going to fight you, Tex. Michelle Nicolini, haha, too cheap. Plus, it's more fun watching you. Of course, I'm way more exciting than most of this. I was definitely more exciting than that last match. I will give myself that much credit. Again, we return back to the mats right now. So if you're just joining us, you've only missed two of the main card. The prelims, I believe, are up. I don't know if they're on Fight Pass or on YouTube. You can go check those out a little bit later. You want to join. All right, going over to Facebook then. That's what I like to hear, Cody Bollinger. All right, then, Tex, we'll talk in a few minutes. Give me a little bit of time to go ahead and get that set up on my side. Let me see what I got going for you. But the only problem is, so Tex would want to join here. I see what he's saying now. It's got to be one or the other. So you got to pick either Facebook or this one. I see what you're doing now. Oh, no. Reverse. Okay. I would prefer you be on the other telecast. So if you have your Skype up, that would be easier. But doing it on this one, I don't record this one as much. So keep that in mind. Anyway, hit me up. I do have my Skype on. That's what I was looking to add right now. If you did want to come on and join. And I'll also have to get some headphones. God damn it. I didn't know somebody was going to want to be on this fucking thing. So rude. You're just offering to give your goods and services like a nice person. Where are your Boston Crab and Sharpshooter videos? Miss them. Ha ha ha. They're coming. I've definitely got a lot of. I mean, here's the thing: if you know anything about anything, you know that uh, WrestleMania or WWE BJJ week is a week in which we do a whole bunch of fun, stupid videos detailing pro wrestling angles and storylines and breakdowns. And honestly, nobody's really won with anything like that in MMA. There was a period of time where like somebody won with using a Boston Crab, and somebody won with like a half Boston Crab, and I was like, oh, we should run with this. So don't be surprised. We're gonna do a little bit more of those. Rydell Fernandez. Thank you very much for your support. But you can ask my teammates; they still happen. Well, if they're ever being lazy and we get into 50-50, that's 100% a sharpshooter is going to happen to them if they're not good at heel hooks, and sometimes even if they are. So I'm just saying. Let me see. No, I'm not sending any notes. Text. I have 1 hour though. What's up, Garcia Grip? Good to see you, bro. No, don't switch the camera, you dork. Vanilla Milk Toast is a name. That's a pretty dope name. Good to you. Yes. Anyway, let me put on my Skype, and then we can bring you on. I always finish in 50-50. Well, I'm not trying to fucking 50-50 fight with you, Tex. There's a lot of things I probably wouldn't do to you that I can probably get away with most people with. So, just, cool your jets, kid. We start with the match 14-14 in this round left to go. Just kind of a feeling of who's getting out there. Oh, a nice takedown over here. That was very effective. Gets the takedown on Nicolini, who goes into trying to get some kind of rubber guard going on right now. Abandons it, sees if she can get something else moving over here, sees if maybe she can attack over, grabs the back of the elbow, isn't getting much there. There's a lot of pressure here on Nicolini that's going to make her respond. Let me see over this way. All right, so we just got a note that a friend of the show wants to go ahead and add themselves on. So I'm going to bring them on to this telecast, which means you guys might not be able to see them. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. This is going to be confusing. I also have to put on headphones. 1 second, you guys. I usually come pretty prepared on this sort of thing, so that's why I hate being underprepared. I could potentially talk to you via my phone and have my phone on here. I'm figuring this out as we go, so it's hard to do it with people. Well, Tex, yeah, I know you want on, but it's fucking difficult on this thing. Because I'm broadcasting on here and I want people to watch. So if you guys go to our YouTube and Facebook page, you can hear and see Tex. Otherwise, you're just going to see half of the conversation. What's up, Duncan Stewart? Skype you. I am, dork. Give me a second. I just have to get headphones. I don't want to sound like some sort of amateur broadcaster over here. Jesus. What do you think this is? Amateur hour? All right. Back to the action. 12:27 left to go over on this side as I look for... Don't boo me, you dork. I'm not in that mood. From underneath, it looks like Nicolini is trying to set up, which is kind of hard to see exactly, but she's triangling her legs together. I can't see if she's trying to set up some kind of guillotine from here, or setting up, moving her over to the side to start trying to, yeah, still coming over. She's still trying to just endure a little bit of pressure over on her side. What I do love about right now Polaris is they do a little bit of the picture-in-picture, which is very reminiscent of the old school WWE or WWF promos that would happen in between the two. So yes, now thanks, Tex. We've actually lost viewers thanks to you yelling at me. Jesus Christ. Or maybe they're going on over to the actual broadcast. Let's see. Yeah, we got a few more people watching over here. All right. I have now done what I've needed to do. Giving you a call in just a... Here we go. It says the last time we chatted on Skype was over a year ago, so I think it's the right address. But Nicolini almost trying to set up kind of an armbar over this way. Very interesting. Okay, primary input device changed to Yeti. It should be Yeti. Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys have been hearing me very, very at a high level. Right now, we're calling text. If you are watching on here, I'm very sorry. You will not be able to see text on Instagram. We get to a little bit of a standstill over on the action as there's kind of a tripod pass. Elevation, a little bit of an attempt at a sweep, a little bit of a major scramble, and Nicolini comes back on top. Oh, what's this, Tex? Let me go ahead and show you real quick. I just want to make sure people can see this. It says, hold on, I want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting my hand here, but it says definitely for sure Tex isn't online. I'm downloading Skype. You gave me all that shit and you still didn't have your fucking Skype downloaded? How dare you? Anyway, for those of you watching on all right now, errors, it does look like there's a knee bar attempt. Just scrambles out of it. Beautifully done. This is a cool match. I don't know why they would pull out on that shot right now. They just did like a big crowd, like from the perspective of the back of the auditorium shot. That was not necessary at this point. 9:34 left to go. So that's the first period of action that they're going to judge, at which point you would have to give the advantage to that. She is the champ. Fuck you. Wow. Never pull our... Hold on. Don't give me a fuck you. You didn't answer. Did you finish downloading it? All right, Nicolini back up on top. Now in guard. Nicolini actually had a moment to just signal like this, by the way. I'm a huge fan of that. I'd love to do more grappling where I can posture and tell people like, no, I'm not ready to go again. You wait for my command here, please. Oh, what's up, Hellenberger? You quite good at jiu-jitsu. It's nice to see you here, sir. That's what I love about doing these shows, is you never know who's going to show up. You don't ever know if these absolute beasts are going to be people who just show up in your comment section and hear you talking shit. 50%. Okay, I'm not. We're going to let that one go. Attack on the leg, still trying to trap that over on her side. Nicolini not super in danger, but I would like to see her escape from this. There's just a weird setup that the two of them are going at this point. Nicolini just kind of shaking it off, though, telling everybody in the audience not really that worried about it. Oh, Nicolini now for a split second. They almost get to a 50-50 position. Not quite there. Nicolini is triangling the legs and still just continuing to do this. You know what? I'm going to do that just as a psychological measure now, just to get in my my training partners' heads. Anytime they think they have me in trouble and it looks bad for me, I'm just going to be like, So anyway. Right now we are watching Polaris 12 together. I hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast thus far. We've been, going at it for about a good 48 minutes. We hope that we've made this entertaining and at the very least given you some of the results that I'm sure you would want to watch. Oh, Nicolini also leans back, lets go of the 50-50, tries to use this opportunity to go ahead and start passing. Instead now does have a footlock on her. If she can go ahead and belly down here, this would be a very bad belly down footlock. But it does look like she is going to lose it. Tex, did you get your shit figured out yet? Bit of a scramble coming on up. Woo! This is great. This is like a toe hold massacre that's happening over on this side. This is super scrambly. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh Palmer. That is really dope. Anyway, that's what we got going on for you guys today. If you have questions, comments, hints, concerns, all of that good ish, hit us up in the comments section. We are able to integrate those comments into our actual broadcast. So just to let you guys know, that is what's going on our side of the world. I'm going to give Tex another call, see if he wants to come on. Out of a bit of a standstill over here as they are now within a leg entanglement where there's not a ton happening. We're going to end the second period. And I do believe at this point, Nicolini may either be ahead or she may be even it out 2-1-1, depending on how he scored that first round. At which point, it should be good to notice it is a very close match, is what we're talking about right now. We do have a toe hold over here, and ooh, beautifully done by Michele, who immediately goes up to giving a heart to the audience. No, a heart to you, Michele Nicolini. Ah, that was great. Good for her. She's fucking beast, dude. What's up, Bro Jitsu? She is rightfully having a set of emotions right now. She's going over to get some water. Just a beast. I want to see this replay because I want to see exactly how she sets this up. So it looked like she was attacking from underneath, had a toe hold, was already bracing over the leg, and before we know it, we get a tap. Yeah, it happened quicker than it even looks. Kind of in that saddle position, switches on over, has the toe hold the entire time. Great control and great finish by one Michele Nicolini. Ooh, it looks bad. Yeah, oof. That looks terrible. Who won? That would be Michele Nicolini. In case you haven't heard me say her name enough. Woof. Good for her. And I know the Brits like to call her Michele. Like, oh yeah, Michele. Michelle's so good. And I'm like, it's Michelle. Just learn a language. Embrace, a hug, the two of them having great spirits together. The now Star Wars Unnecessary Metal being presented. That kind of stuff, yes. Oh snap. Oh snap is pretty much what happened almost to her opponent's leg, so you're not wrong on that. But yes, it was a very, very fun match. I want to make sure if you guys are not part of the broadcast right now, you get on this broadcast. What is Mr. Murr? Michelle's now giving an interview to my sometimes arch nemesis, one Josh Palmer, and it is very nice. She's, like I said, she's just a class act. I like her a lot. There we go. We're back to a normal thing. So yes, Renee saying, oh snap. Yes, one's knee almost did go, oh snap. What's up, Team Flow BJJ? Are you guys Flow grappling in disguise? Because that's what's happening here. Better not be. It's all in the up and up. This one's Fight Pass, so I'm not responsible for this one with you guys. All right. As we wait to see if someone has downloaded Skype, we continue to watch on. I believe we have a couple more matches left on this main card, the least of which, not to look over or gloss over, is we have some amazing matches in one Richard Alarcon versus one Ash Williams, hometown hero, who also had one of the best matches in Polaris history. So do not sleep on this young man. They both are super hungry athletes, super amazing, have the highest amount of respect for both of those gentlemen. And of course, our main event, Nick Rodriguez versus Luke Rockhold, aka the Ken doll. So anyway, that's what we got going on. What's going on in your guys' lives? Hit me up. What's happening? I want to hear from you guys in there. If you guys have questions for me, you're more than welcome to hit me up in the questions section. What do you mean, fuck Skype, Tex? It's not that hard. Of course, Tex doesn't know how to use Skype. We've done this before, Tex. It's literally my 5th call to you. Congratulatory hugs all around. Everybody's enjoying themselves right now. Lots of water being expansed and given out. Okay, Tommy Lenker versus, I believe, coming up right now, Gilbert Burns, which should be a great match. Tommy is beast, so if you are not up on him, please be very quickly. Your number changed? Your Skype number shouldn't change. let me go ahead and message you offline then. You should still have me on some version. Oh. Let me see. I feel like I'm helping my dad with old person technology. Well, Tex, this is how you first turn on your Skype. Did you try that one? What's up, Korean Zombie? It's weird. Do you even train anymore, Dan? Or are you just betting all the time? It's very hard to tell. Dan, of course, tied for our last... No, don't put your number. Sure, okay. I was messaging you in private, sir. Bureaucratic calling text. I'm trying my damnedest to make this work, text. I'm messaging you. Just keep an eye out on your Instagram. You're so absurd. Okay. I'm also glad that Tex is one of the people who, when I put up a meme that said, if I die and you see someone at my funeral that you hate, feel free to throw hands. It's what I would have wanted. It's true, but I also fear if Tex is at my funeral, he will throw hands with one of my one of the people at my funeral. All right, Tex, I'm telling you how to find me on Skype. So anyway, I just sent Tex a message. It's entirely possible we get him on this show. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a crapshoot at this point. As many people are watching. Anyway, Renee, big congratulations to you, sir. I heard you had a great match over at One Grappling Idiots. Very proud of you, sir. It now looks like Tex is telling people to Carly Rae Jepsen him. All right, so Tommy Lanker, this guy is like, he does look a little bit like a Viking. His jiu-jitsu is very, very powerful, fluid though. I've seen him compete a number of times. Gilbert Burns, of course, famously MMA fighter. Just hits a knee bar in this package that they're showing right now, which is dope. They keep showing them, Tommy training in the gi. And it makes me wonder, are we going to see this in the gi? Probably not. But it would be dope, because why would you show footage of them training in the gi if this is not going to be a gi match? Stranger things have happened, folks. Looked like for a split second, Tommy was about to hit a twister in this gi package that they got going on. I want to bet on Polaris. What do you want to bet on, sir? We have Dan Hubler, noted gambler. Like, one of these days, I feel like enabling Dan is going to be a topic of conversation when he goes to Gamblers Anonymous. Why aren't there any books taking grappling bets? Well, because you haven't made them, sir. I know you've talked about doing it. You just need to go through the commissions and do it yourself. You're the only one who's going to be willing to put in the time, but you're lazy, so that's why it doesn't happen. Simply put. Let me see here. Boop, 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 boop. All right, I'm gonna try him again. Just to let you guys know, so it's Tommy and Gilbert coming up next. If you have questions, comments, hints, concerns, allegations, hit us up in the comment section. If you would like to, say what's up to us. Oh my God, it's in the gi. Look at his face. Oh shit, this one's gonna be in the gi. That's great. All these guys are always afraid of doing something in the gi, so I'm glad they're actually just going to now be in the gi, even though they were doing that package. Well, it makes a lot more sense, so that's good. All right. And they both escort themselves on over to the mat side of this. It is an interesting venue. It is interesting to see Gilbert get really intense and get his mind focused. They have this weird balcony that they're going off of right now, or like weird side step that they like go up to get on over. It's like the little ramp up to the stage that they take. It's like vaguely not disinteresting, but it's a little underwhelming when it's like, let's get excited. Walk up ramp. Anyway, let's see if anything has moved here. I'll take red. No, you're trying to just make the bets happen in here. Dan says, I'll take Red Alarcon as the underdog against Ashley Williams if one of you Brits gives me odds. Switching to Facebook so I can find someone to bet me. Yeah, it's always a very impressive way to go about it. Bet me, you coward. Anyway, we now go to Gilbert and anyone who want to bet. I'll put it on the broadcast too. Dan is trying to get someone to take him up on this one right now. And you don't have a ton of time. What's up? Sad why, Chow? Why are you so sad, Chow? But yes, Dan is trying to get some of y'all to come in on this action. Gilbert already starting to work a pass, works a weave through. Although Tommy has grips on both the sleeve and the collar. Could be setting up. And Omoplata has a little bit of the arm in trouble. Has to abandon it real quick. Now may transition over to Kimura. Has Gilbert in trouble. Gilbert's trying to pass over, but that arm looks like it is not bending well. And it looks like Gilbert is holding on for dear life. You're going to get to see now using it as a sweep rather than anything else. He goes to step back, but now gets put into some trouble there. That was a great sequence. What's up, Mr. Nom Noms? It's good to see you. I'll be back to training soon. Promise. Anyway, that's what we got going on over this way. Calling you, okay? Let's see if that happens. Waiting on this. Lineker is now with a firm, secure position over this way. He has firmly passed, puts the arm down to secure the position even more. Gilbert looks like he wants to take a breath because that was a lot of action to begin the round. And he had to work within danger. Man, that was a good set. I really like the way that one was passing out. Now starts to frame, gets himself out of danger. Laker still has a great grip on that pant leg. That would be IBJJF suspicious, if we're being honest, because he's cupping underneath it rather than, it's questionable. It's definitely dicey on that side. So that's what we got going on for you guys right now. I hope you are enjoying our live watch along for Polaris. So far, it's being a very entertaining, minus one match, entertaining card thus far. Tommy does get his leg free of the half guard or quarter guard, as it does look like Gilbert's starting to come up. Tommy's starting to sag his weight, put it down on him. Nothing doing over on that side. The two of them back to standing. And the crowd drunkenly cheers, because that's what they do over at Polaris. And right now my dog is slowly waking up from a nap. So in case you're wondering what the hell she is up to, that is what she's got going on in her life right now. She gets very, not angry, but she gets very like, what the fuck are you doing for 4 hours that at a time? Like, why are you doing these watch-alongs? I have to tell them, like, the people, they need to know what's happening. They need to be watching. And if they can't watch, they need idiots like me to tell them what's going on. Tommy now playing a little bit of Spire Guard. Gilbert going more into traditional pass style. Tommy for a split second disrupts the base. Almost looked like he was able to start getting a sweep. Goes back over. Playing from bottom. Has a good grip on the inside of one of the sleeves. Gilbert just trying to he's just trying to shove this knee down here. I have to give credit to Polaris for getting this one in the gi, because we don't see a ton of matches like this happening in the gi anymore for a organization that would, like, I mean, honestly, one of the appeals of Polaris was the fact that you would see gi and no gi. Now, Tommy pulls him into his guard, closes it up. Gilbert is now going to have to work. And the most difficult aspect of what I've seen with Gilbert and Tommy so far is the fact that Gilbert doesn't seem preoccupied with some of Lenker's grips here. And earlier, my friend Jake asked me who I thought was going to win this, and I thought that was just in no-gi.
The fact that we're looking at a gi match, I mean, I wish I could change my answer now. But so far, so good on the very first period, as we're about to close in on the last minute of the first period of 3. I would say the judges would have to be going in favor of Tommy on this very first round of action. Gilbert, though, still like giving it his all to try and pass on the outside. It just seems a little more telegraphed, which is why Tommy keeps being able to keep him at bay. So now we're at almost a rest period between the two. In professional wrestling, they refer to this as a rest hold. It's usually when you see like one of the wrestlers apply like a submission of some sort, like a sleeper, aka a rear naked choke that's not really sunk in, just to give them an opportunity to kind of rest for a split second. The ref was on belt duty. It looked like Tommy was like, "Please take my belt off this mat. I do not wish to see it anymore." Does look like over on this side, Gilbert trying to get it. He has one arm underneath. He's trying to keep that sleeve away. Now I think he's starting to respect Tommy's grips on these, because I think Tommy's strong, like nice strong, and he seems to be disrupting these bases so nicely. And it does look like he's setting up what the beginnings of a triangle would look like over this way, just grabbing on the collar to kind of drag him on the inside. He has it kind of trapped. Gilbert can still push out of this. It's, though, looking a little bit more like Tommy's going to start attacking this arm. Gilbert really has to pop out quickly here, because even if he's not out, his arm is in trouble. He starts to use that pressure to try and pass down, now securing his first pass over on this side. What's up, Calder? You killed it, I heard. Anyway, moving back to the action now. Tommy is getting back his grips, working from like a scissor guard. Looks like he can start to try and create some disruption, and now opts to going to go back to pulled guard all the way. It's a good match. Did you guys expect this one to be gi? Because just names alone, I thought whenever they get like a UFC fighter, I always think like they're like, I don't want to do the gi. Don't bring that shit near me. Because that would be dumb. So respect over our way to one Gilbert Burns for going ahead and playing this game. All right, Tommy now doing a good job of creating a stiff arm to create some base over on this side. We got a lot of action still yet to come. Of course, Ash Williams and Richard Alarcon is coming up a little bit later in the show. Hey, good job, Dog. Dog just hit the pee pad, so very proud of her. Tommy trying to take the back the hard way. Gilbert thought for a split second he might have an opportunity to take one of the legs with him. Does not get it. Now is facing some serious trouble over for Tommy. He's going to start messing with the back. This is not a place you want to be with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the match. This is no bueno. What's up, Leo? Now, I cannot tell if Tommy's going to even care to get a body triangle here. I think he's just very content on making Gilbert just try to fight the 2-on-1 consistently here to maybe wear him down. Nope, he almost was going to get a body triangle. Gets a leg underneath Gilbert's left leg to push him over to the side. Now puts foot on hip over to see if he can make sure that he's going to keep him controlled. Gilbert goes over to his left-hand side. Does not seem to be making any impression to get out of this just yet. This is going to be a difficult thing for him to get out of. Tommy is really good in this position. I love that you said hola, a.k.a. hola. Tommy's still on the back. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here, and it is looking increasingly dim for one Gilbert Burns, as Tommy now has the triangle locked up. Tommy's now trying to go ahead and isolate one of the arms to make it just insufferable. I will not be surprised if he is able to get this collar choke coming over from the side. He's messing with the gi, starting to try and pull it up a little bit more. Gilbert still, this is the harder part. So I know we talk about back control over on EBI just because of the no-gi aspect of it and how so many people do it with the rules, but it is so much more worse to me whenever somebody has my back in the gi because of all of the gi options. just the ability to maintain control seems like it could be forever if they really are attacking your neck. And more importantly, it can end even quicker. Tommy now feeding another part of the lapel as an extra option over on the side. Gilbert doing his best to try and get his arms with the gi grip to pull it over his head. Not really getting too much movement over that side. However, his body is at least more potential. Nope, they just corrected it. The hardest part about this position is even in no-gi, you want to get your hips over their hips. So being stuck in this position like that makes you almost suspended in this. And as opposed to no-gi, where you don't have to worry about a collar coming over and being a huge problem, this is something that helps to keep controlled. Gilbert did see for a split second a leg or two. Now is going to pass it on over. For a split second, he did have like kind of a knee bar attempt. Instead, he's just going to kind of hug the leg to see if he can get a reaction out of Tommy, who does probably at this point have to figure for it. Gilbert is probably wishing this was no-gi at this moment right now, if I'm being honest, because it does look like he would have had a clean set of attacks over here, at least attacking the heel. Now it looks like Tommy is having to just play it a little bit slower. He grabs the grips. He gets the sleeve to go ahead and prevent Gilbert from being able to make any further attacks over on his side. And now Gilbert was trying to pass it over on his own head. Tommy now using some of that yoga for BJJ. I don't assume he actually does it, but just based on his power and his movement, I would say he does. Trying to go ahead and make sure that he doesn't have much room to go ahead and move on this. Scoops it up on the inside, starts to come up on it. Gilbert trying to weasel his way back over on the side. Now Tommy has gotten his leg completely out of danger. And it'll be interesting to see if, yes, he's going to opt to come up on this. Gilbert is looking a little spent as he's keeping a grip on the bottom pant leg of Tommy, who's now just very secure and trying to pass as he comes up. Gilbert now in danger as Tommy steps back, has a lot of pressure as they get to his knees. Gilbert is in on a single. However, Tommy doesn't mind. Pulls guard, gets one of the sleeves on his left hand over here, and grabs a little bit on the inside of the left collar as well. A great match between the two of these individuals. Gilbert now starting to try and use this. I mean, this is really where Gilbert wants to be in terms of his passing. I think he feels more comfortable here. I just don't know that he's been able to be as effective here as he normally would be in just powering his way through a number of his people that he probably rolls with in that side. Tommy now keeping a very good grip on that left sleeve. He is holding onto that for dear life. And that's something that is hard to replicate, because when you are doing no-gi and you get that grip just with a 2-on-1 in no-gi, you still can slip out a lot more. Here, Tommy is just attached and making it so that Gilbert can't really get away from him at any point. Gilbert falls back for a leg lock. For a split second, it looks like he's trying to do a heel hook here, but it's like, nah, bro, we can't do that. But it was an interesting attempt where he was almost going to fall back for a footlock. Tommy then goes underneath. The two of them not clearly in a space of being in permanent danger here. Tommy almost used it as a bait for a toe hold himself. Gilbert, for the first time, using a grip to go and keep Tommy down. That was very interesting. We're at 2:33 left to go in this match. I'm digging it. It's been fun so far. We're returning back to normal territory with Tommy locking up his guard, keeping a grip on the left-hand sleeve over on Gilbert. For a split second, does look like he's in on a closer omoplata here. It may not be enough to give him the full transition. Gilbert now being very careful that he doesn't slip back. Tommy trying to grab the back of the gi to see if he can sift him down. Now opts to go slow. Tries to swing up on it. Gilbert doing a good job of gripping the back of the pant leg to go ahead and keep him up. And they return back. Gilbert's now out of danger. Steps back out. 150 left to go. This is intense, people. Tommy now scratching his head, wondering what the shit do I have to do to this behemoth to go ahead and finish him off. Because it looks like he should have had him several times before. Gilbert now trying to smooth pass over to the opposite side, going back and forth between the two, isolating between. It looks like he really wants this leg. I think he figures if he's going to submit Tommy at any part of this, he's got to get that leg free. Now coming down on it, he does have a good grip on it. Tommy having to do the best that he can. His leg is very straight here. I will be surprised if he just keeps it there the entire time. I feel like we're going to see Gilbert pass the leg over to the other side. Tommy's probably going to try and grip or figure four it if it does. 1 minute left. Gilbert has to abandon the knee bar as Tommy gets his leg folded back toward him while still in that not quite 50-50 lockup right now. Gilbert tries to sweep underneath the leg to maybe get some leverage, maybe push him out just a little bit more. I do like this attempt by Gilbert. Now Gilbert triangles his legs. We're in a little bit more of an unconventional 50-50, almost 80-20. This is becoming more and more intense as we go. Gilbert has 30 seconds to make something compelling here because Tommy, if it is up to me, is going to win by decision here pretty easily. Pushes the leg out. Tommy is out of danger now, tries to come up on it, grabbing that sleeve to see if he can get something with the arms going over here. Now going back to a triangle, maybe to make that last impression for the judges. He does have it locked up. He's going to try and make with this armbar in the triangle. It's not too much to go here. He's pushing against the side. Gilbert is not responding too much, grabs his arm back over on the side. Tommy then tries to lock up that triangle one last time, pushes him off, and we are expired on time. That was fun. It was funner than it needed to be in the gi. So congratulations to both these gentlemen. I believe you will see Lenker get a very easy win on this. My apologies to Jake on not giving him a better recommendation on this one. I thought this one was going to be no gi. If I had known it was going to be in the gi, I think I might have changed my answer. Especially looking at the difference between the two. I mean, I feel like Gilbert, if he had had a couple of those leg attacks and felt more comfortable, he could have been trying to isolate for, like a knee bar a little bit more or a heel hook here and there. But I'm not complaining. I like seeing guys compete in the gi. I think it's important. I think that we get so caught up on everybody going no gi every opportunity they get that there is a beauty to the fucking gi. It's really good to see when it's done well. It is really nice. What's up, Alex? Good to see you on this side. Who'd you guys have? I mean, you guys should have Tommy winning that one. There's no reason you should have anybody else, so I'm not even going to ask you. Who do you have winning the next match, which I believe is going to be Ash Williams versus Red Alarcon? Hit me. Who do you guys have? I'm very excited to see how that match goes. I enjoy both those individuals a lot. Unanimous decision, of course, because these judges weren't stupid. And Tommy picks up the win. Lenker. He beast, man. A couple of those setups that I want to go back and watch again after I watch this now with you guys, I think are going to be the omoplata setups. He really has great grip on that sleeve each time, and I have a lot of respect. I've seen him compete a lot whenever he comes out to LA for Worlds and all that sort of stuff, and he's definitely very good, man. He's right up there with it. What's up, Michael? I think right now he's saying something either derogatory or celebratory about Brazilians. It's probably the latter, but it's fun to make people think that he might have said some shit where he's like, Brazilians, they don't tip well. Not a fan. But he's not saying that. Anyway, this is a good time to remind you guys. All right, as we start to get to the next element of the game, if you're not following us at Grappling Hour on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Periscope, on all the major platforms, what are you doing with your life? Go fix that right now. Go join me over there. Enjoy all of the content that we have for you guys. We have so many interviews in our library, not just here, but we're going to start putting more and more of our interviews up on our iTunes for the podcast and for Spotify. If you guys want to listen to us there, you're more than welcome to listen to us in any of those places. So if you ever are short on good content to listen to, you always have us here at Grappling Hour, and I do my best to give you guys new content every single week. So coming up next, we have a great interview with, let's see, this week I think we got Ryan McGuire. In the future, we've got an interview lined up with JT Torres again. Be nice to chat with him. Gabe Green, an individual who is a beast of a He's just a beast. That's just no other way to say that. But yes, we've got a lot more show for you guys to see coming up late. It looks like they're probably going to get an interview in with Gilbert, of which I will not hear him say anything. So I'm just going to try and... Josh is saying, you're not usually a gi fighter, but you looked okay tonight. Tell us a little bit about that. Gilbert is now apologizing and saying, something to the effect of, sorry, I didn't get the submission, all that sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's what we got going on right now. So, to those of you watching, I want to ask a few questions. Number one, what made you watch this particular Polaris? What was the thing that drew you? Is it Nicky Rodriguez? Is that the reason you're tuning in today? Is it the possibility of seeing Luke Rockhold get submitted or show everybody they still got it in grappling? Or are you watching today because you're fans of both Ash Williams or Richard Alarcon? I ask you this because I'm truly, truly curious to see what your reason for watching Polaris is. It'll be very interesting to see what some of your reactions are and who it is that you're rooting for in your side of the world. That's what I got going on. If you guys are so inclined, I would so love it if you wouldn't mind, giving us some likes, some hearts, some moons, whatever Lucky Charms things we've got here on the Facebook side. You can give us a like, a heart, a ha 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 laugh. Those are the good ones. I don't want the other ones. And then if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Because Lord knows some Russian internet troll is probably going to give us a thumbs down. Or people who hate grappling, honestly. Because there are some of those guys. I'm very excited to see the next couple matches. I hope that you guys are as well. But Gilbert and Tommy give each other a nice heads up and exchange of respect to one another. So that's what we got going on our side of the world. All right. Where are you guys watching and what are you excited about is my question to you. Who brought you here? I'm very excited for the individuals that we have coming up next. Like I mentioned, this is Ash Williams, hometown hero-ish. I mean, all of Europe and England is like one place to me. So, yes, that's his hometown to me. And then Richard Alarcon has been a monster, dude. I mean, he's won combat jiu-jitsu. He's an individual who was recently competing at ADCC, had some great matches there. He's a fun person to watch compete. He definitely puts it all out there every single time. And the photos that they have of the two of them together look like they were made at the last minute. Now, of course, this was an adjustment on who I believe Ash's opponent was going to be, but do not fret because it's a really good replacement. I like this match for a number of reasons. Number one, Red has really good wrestling, and I think he's been one of those individuals who's been able to parlay his wrestling into a very good series for compelling jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's willing to make things exciting. He's definitely very savvy. He's definitely grinded through a number of matches in his time. So I'm very pleased that he is going to be on this card. And then for Ash, there's a guy who, I mean, Ash is one of those guys that I felt like he was trying to get traction for a good amount of time. He was putting in the work. And then, he kept being like, hey, give me a spot. Kasai, give me a spot on Polaris. And then once he got on there, man, he's fucking tearing it up. And I believe he wasn't able to do this year's ADCC trials. And I just can't help but think what he would have looked like in those trials. I think he would have been pretty well throughout most of those. So while I'm not 100% certain he would have made it all the way through, I think it's very likely we could have seen him as, at the very least, an alternate for this year's ADCC, and unfortunately it did not happen. But he is healthy now. He's competing against Red. It's going to be a badass match. And he's one of those guys who, dude, you can never sleep on Ash. And I believe the last couple matches he's had have been just fucking barn burners. So he's somebody who had, I believe most recently, just a badass match against one of our good friends, Ethan Krellenston, one of the last Polarises. And so, yeah, this is going to be a very, very good match. All right. We've had a lot of people chime in on this. We had some people talking about this one, and I can't help but talk about it. Tito Ortiz thinks that he has a good chance to beat one of the greatest fighters of all time, current UFC light heavyweight champ, John Jones. Listen, that is so silly. Don't forget, this time next week, not only is there Third Coast Grappling, but then there's also, that fight between Alberto Del Rio and Tito Ortiz. And I started wondering, I was like, why am I hearing Tito Ortiz back in the news right now? And it wasn't clicking. It wasn't registering. I was like, why is he back in the news? It doesn't make any sense. And then I remembered, oh, right. Tito Ortiz is talking about himself because no one else is interested in him versus Alberto Del Rio for Combates Americas, which I believe is happening this week. So, yeah, I know. I don't know why we're doing it. And it's a belt versus belt match because both of them are champions. I believe Tito Ortiz won a UFC title. I don't think he won a Bellator one. And Alberto Del Rio was famously champion of the WWE. Yeah, sorry to be the same, but how far away from the main event are we? Well, Aaron Foley. We have one more match until we get there. So I would say probably in the next 35 minutes we would be at the main event. So if you're tuning in for that, I totally understand. It is not harmful to me to ask those questions. So don't feel bad. But I would encourage you right now to go watch Alarcon versus Williams because that's going to be good. I just feel it in my bones. We get that Will Ferrell character from, what is it, Eastbound and Down, where it's like, I feel it in my plums. So if you guys are excited, you should be. All right. Ash Williams about to make his entrance to the stage momentarily. This is a good time to remind you guys, if the feed cuts off on Instagram, we will be taking this over to Grappling Hour's live footage showing place. So you can catch us on Instagram Live on @GrapplingHour in just a few minutes. I like, you know what's so great about the setup for the seating here that they show is that people don't want to sit close to each other at this event. So there are empty seats here. Not probably because they don't have enough people, but just because they want space between like bros. Bros don't want to have seats next to each other, so they're just like, "Hey, bro, you take that seat next to me." It just looks terrible on TV. Whenever you see a seat missing like that, you just want to be like, "Yo, you're on TV. You shut the fuck up and just sit next to each other, you dork." What's up, Jiu-Jitsu Times? What fake articles can we expect to see from you this week? Miss you guys. Ash is now skipping along like he's in a ska band and just circling a mosh pit. Takes off his hoodie and now gets his way over to the mats. All right, I'm going to do my best to try and keep you guys up to speed on the action that comes place here, but this is one of the good ones, guys. So let's all get excited for this one. Ash Williams, Richard Alarcon. Time is about to start in 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and Kambach. There we go. It would have been more dramatic if I had had it down at the exact same time, but I did not. Here we go. Both of them kind of swatting as quickly as they can to try and get some sort of grip between each other. Now, if you're Ash, you're probably pretty familiar with Red, just in terms of his output on how many different things you've seen him on in the past year. The Summer of Red was pretty impressive. He does get a trip down over. He got an arm drag over on Rich. Is already starting to go to work on the leg. He has a good bite. However, Rich is doing a good job of trying to get it out. Ash is already starting to try and get this heel hook in. He is close on it, and Rich may have to bail. He's able to twist out the opposite way. Rich is in danger a little bit here. Ash is not giving up on this leg very easily. He is one of the most underrated leg locks that you can find out there. Rich has to go ahead and bail out of that and run off to the side. 14:07 left to go in this match. The two of them go center of the mat again. Now, in this, you have to feel very confident if you are Ash Williams here, because he was able to get a really good arm drag read on a wrestler, and that's not easy to do. And you got to wonder if that is going to rattle a little bit of Richard Alarcon's output. Ash Williams does get a nice shuck under, almost attempts for a guillotine. Rich backs on out, pushes him away. The two of them meet back center of the mat. As they're trying to exchange, there's almost a game of mercy happening between the two, but it's happening so fast. Just the exchange of arms that's happening here. Rich almost reading on the side. However, Ash gets a Kimura grip over on. It is not looking good. He might have an armbar here over on. Oh, Red is in danger. That arm is in severe danger. I don't know that Red is okay. I think his arm might have gone on that in transition. That is truly unfortunate, but let's not take away anything from Ash Williams. Ash Williams is a beast. Wow. Good for you, sir. You know, you have to really wonder on this one. I mentioned it earlier, seeing Ash Williams as somebody who should have been in that ADCC conversation. He says it himself, and I know a lot of times it's hard to really put yourself over on this. They're now replaying the footage where it already looked like a really conventional armbar. As Ash was trying to finish here, Red was doing his best to go and circle on out of it. The angle that then happens on it is gruesome. It's up there with Pearl's break, and they're showing the other angle, and I'm just not going to watch. Nah, I'm good. So, Aaron Foley, in response to your question, we might be at a main event sooner than you think. They'll probably take about a good 10 minutes to introduce the two on that one. It looked like Red was walking off. Ash Williams comes back over with his belt, very prominently displaying it. Man, that was so clean. These are the moments that you do get very happy to see for one Ash Williams, in terms of, you know, this is a guy, he's a workhorse, dude. He's somebody who's maybe more prominently known over across the pond, but he's fantastic. Looks like Red is off the mats right now. I think they're going to take him immediately to go get that checked up on. Props to Ash. Ash was ready for him. You know, from that arm drag, and when he was able to go and disrupt a little bit on him, all the way over to that Kimura grip when he knew that Rich was going to shoot in on him. I'm interested to hear what he's going to have to say on this one. Hopefully you guys can't hear this too much. So yes, now it looks like he is a champ. He's saying that everything in his camp was going as he needed it to. So he's mostly saying he needs to be in the top 10. He needs to fight the guys in the top 10. I feel like I'm translating. Ooh, I did not know. Okay. So now Ash is going to describe the finish. Yeah. So what I had to say a little bit earlier was that it looked like he had spotted it out and planned it out. It is very true. He's saying that he had been planning that off of those low singles that Red normally shoots. He's noticed that as something he traditionally does. He's now paying some respect to Red and saying he made it to ADCC. It's no... So anyway, what he was saying though was that he had been, I guess, researching it. He said everything came together in his camp that he had hoped it would. He's been messing a lot with that Kimura trap system, and he had been working on snap downs and contingency plans for all those things. So when I make the estimation that somebody like Ash, who I know pretty well, would scout one of his opponents, it's no mistake that he would make those kind of plans. I think that now he's just saying what a nice morning he had, that he got to just hang out in his house and see his dogs. It's the kind of wholesome sort of end cap review you would hope for from one Ash Williams. I'm very, very sorry to see what happened to Red. Red is a friend of the show. Like I said, we had to be Switzerland on this one. And I don't want to take away, though, from Ash Williams. So Ash is saying he's willing to be the champ, aka 3-time champ for Polaris. And I think he's made a compelling argument here tonight. So big props to him, making the most out of that. If you guys are watching on Instagram right now, we're going to switch on over to @Grappling Hour in just a minute. So I know you're watching this on Verbal Tap Cast. I love you guys. I cannot thank you enough for watching on here, but please come on over and watch the very last match, which is Rockhold versus Rodriguez, with us as we make it a nice communal event. We always love your support, and if you aren't following us at Grappling Hour, do so. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the other one, Twitch, Periscope, all of the ones. Twitter, all of the major social media networks. Cash Outstanding, come find us at Grappling Hour in just a second. We're going to switch over in 3, 2. Love you guys. See you in just a minute. Okay? Peace. All right. So if you guys are still watching over on this side, all we are doing right now is making sure that we switch on over to the Instagram side so that people who want to play along with us are allowed and welcomed to go ahead and check out the action that's going on here. Oh my God. Oh, that was unfortunate. It's one of the things you can't get over. Red is a beast. I know he's gonna have to take some time off with that recovery. We hope that it's good. If there's anybody who can tell you about coming back from recovery, though, it's Ash Williams. So I'm just hoping that he gets the care that he needs for that arm, and that we see him back very soon. Yep. All right. Here's what we're going to do. In a minute, we're going to share this on Facebook so those individuals who have not been partaking with us can go ahead and partake with us. And then if you guys don't mind, give us some likes, give us some hearts, give us some, shares on the Instagram and the social media. We're now going to go on over and start doing it back on Grappling Hour on our Instagram Live. Welcome, everybody. If you are just joining us on Instagram Live, we are about to watch Nicky Rodriguez take on Luke Rockhold on Polaris 12. We're doing a Let's Watch. If you have not been watching earlier, we have been watching together as a family, and that's what I consider you guys here, a real family. We've been watching together the event for Polaris 12, and it has been very entertaining. If you are just joining us, though, that means that you just missed out on Ash Williams winning via savage armbar against Red Alarcon very early in their match. It was super good. It was, Ash is who he is, man. You put some respect on that man's name. That is a champ right there. Right now, they're showing the promotional packaging for Rockhold versus Rodriguez. And I have to ask you guys right here, right now, who do you have winning this match? Do you have Nick Rodriguez or do you have Luke Rockhold? What's up, Angle of the Strangle? Good to see you, sir. I'm intrigued by this match for a number of reasons. Number one, Luke Rockhold doesn't really do a ton of competitive grappling events. So it is nice to get UFC fighters coming through here. This is a 230-pound no-gi main card bout. Now, of course, Nick Rodriguez is 23. Luke Rockhold is 35. Both American. You've got Renzo Gracie now affiliated. Nick Rodriguez versus Revka, or RVCA. So that's what we got going on that way. Cash Outstanding says Rockhold. Kevin Martinez says Nick Rodriguez all fucking day. Just day or night. Nikki by points. Rocky has better jits. Interesting. Very, very interesting here. I don't know. Obviously, we know Nick Rodriguez very well. I think he's going to want to try and keep it aggressive. The difference is Luke Rockhold is one of those secret training partners of the Buchecha sort of thing. Yeah, and Gordon both said Rockhold is one of the best they've rolled with. So it is going to be very tempting. The good news about Gordon having some insight on Rockhold is that that's a really good voice in the ear for Nicky Rodriguez. You know, to have that sort of background to give you that information, that inside intel of training with them, that's really, really good for him on his side. Nicky Rodriguez showing up ADCC style with no rash guard. Surprise. So, in case you guys had that on your betting pool, you were right if you were guessing he was going to show up with no rash guard. Rockhold has how many years of grappling experience versus Nicky? A lot versus not a lot. Rockhold did grapple fuck Weidman, though. Yeah, that was an unfortunate one. I was really hoping that Weidman would be able to beat the Kendall here. What's up, Kunta Moreno? Good to see you. Rockhold doing some sort of weird douchebag entrance guy kind of thing. He's kind of dancing around, finding his way in. All right. We have got a great main event for you guys here. Very excited for this one and the opportunity it presents young Nicky Rodriguez. Part of me hopes that Rockhold's just going to roll in the sweats. Dude, I've said for years, the thing that made me most mad was when the Kendall lost to Michael Bisping because it made him a champion. It's so aggravating. Still doesn't know what to do with his hands yet. He really doesn't. After all the years of competitive grappling, I'm sure you could put on your years of there. Rockhold going with is that a rash guard or a shirt? Can't tell if he's going the dad style of trying to be a grappler right now. The two of them being brought center of the mat, and they're ready to just go. All right, guys, here we go. Very excited about this match. Rockhold already starts to push in on Rodriguez over this way. So that's how we're starting this match to go ahead and begin. Nick Rodriguez, Rockhold leaving his leg out there for Nicky to go ahead and shoot in on. You have to wonder if he's got some sort of similar build that he wants to do in terms of movement that Ash was prepared for one Richard Alarcon. Pushes Nicky Rodriguez over to the side of the mat with 14:32 left to go in the match. They return back to center of the mat. Join us for the main event discussion of Nicky Rod versus Rockhold. All right. Two of them collar ties right now, pushing off between each other. Again, Rockhold very much telegraphing that he wants him to take that inside right leg to come and shoot in on. Yeah, Rockhold going for the regular shirt tucked in to the rash guard, by the way. Rockhold is coming to the grappling scene because he keeps getting his jaw broken. Yeah, dude. Fighting's not easy, bro. Also, I think you get to a certain point. Rockhold was recently saying he didn't know that his heart was still in fighting. And anytime you say that, maybe you don't need to fight. And the hard part is if you've already been champion, do you really need to be there? Nicky Rodriguez with a very aggressive snap down here. It does disrupt the base of one Rockhold, who keeps putting out that right leg to shoot in on. Rockhold is the strategy here seems to be to create a pace where you're aggressive in the clinch, but then you just kind of saunter back to the middle of the mat and you try to dangle a low dangling fruit for one Nicky Rodriguez in there. So that's what we got going on. Hit us up in the comment section. Obviously, we'll make you guys part of the show, but I'm just intrigued to see this match and how quickly it's come together, considering Nicky Rodriguez has only been training now for, 2 years and is now main eventing Polaris. Well, at the same time, Luke Rockhold has been headlining and main eventing UFCs for a good while. He had a great run as champ. I mean, define great, but I mean, he was champion, so I think that's important to note. And then at the same point, the two of them being brought together for what I think is a much better integration of MMA versus jiu-jitsu, or wrestling, if you would. Two of them starting to battle on over, and it is becoming quickly apparent to all of us here that these mats are not big enough for these two individuals, as they're just circling on over. We have a stop in the action. Luke Rockhold is bleeding. Yikes. This is the thing that always makes me laugh, though, whenever we have MMA fighters who, look over at everybody and go, yeah, I'm bleeding, dude. Just, that's what happens. I'm okay. Ooh, let's hope they don't have the MSG doctor. I know what you're saying in terms of the Diaz doctor stoppage, but I choose to believe you're saying MSG doctor, as in somebody who checks food and goes, a little too MSG. Let's call the food. No more food. Too much MSG here. What's up, Eric? Good to see you, sir. We got to train soon. Then we've got all this. Where's the cut? The cut is above the, I believe, right eye. And they're tending to it right now. They're putting it there. They're going to do probably it might have been just incidental coming in just from the exchange the two had on that. Nicky Rodriguez just kind of chilling at center of the mat, pacing around, wondering when they're going to get back to a match. Now, oh God, he takes out his mouth guard and just puts it behind his ear and says, yeah, all right, that's fine. I got nothing there. Headbutt, yes. It looked like it was more from a snap down, where the two were just creating so much power and movement to them that when he snapped them down and he was coming into him, I think it just kind of connected above. So that would be my best guess. What's up, Knight? What's up, Eli? But yes, that's my best guess as to what we have going on right now. I could be entirely wrong. It could just be from the savage clubbing of one another on this one. Looks like Luke is ready to return back to the center of the mats. Luke now, like a douchebag, putting out his arms, doing a more passive, are you not entertained? But it's actually coming out more like, whatever, bro, you entertained. I don't care, man. I'm Luke Rockhold. I look like a Ken doll. Whatever, bro. Nicky kind of visibly confused as to what's going on. Nope, they go back over to the eye. Looks like they have 3 people viewing the eye. This is a great scene, by the way. I can't tell if it's Hardy, but it's somebody who's definitely looking over at the side being like, as the other person's doing all the work, the main guy is treating the wound is going, yep, that's definitely cut. Yeah, good job. Good job putting gauze on that. Are we returned back to action? Is this live? No, now we're live. Okay. We're back there. Luke is now just literally lifting his leg. What was subtle telegraphing now is turned straight into, take it. Take it, bitch. Take this leg. I don't want it. Luke wants to make this down and dirty for the two of them. Rodriguez already starting to pace his way to gorilla down to the ground, creating some sort of sense. Ooh, gets in on a nice arm drag here. Gets underneath for a split second. Could you please turn the camera around so I could watch the match here? Thanks. Fuck off. Here's what I've got to say. Continuing on as they grab back to each other. Clubbing and digging right over here. Nick has a good grip around the back of Luke's head. Luke, obviously with the more experience here, it is interesting to see the way how the two of them work. 11:24, Nick trying to get very low, probably figuring that it's very difficult for Luke Rockhold, as old as he is, to get down to that level and change levels. Of course, when you're over 30, there is no changing levels in wrestling. There's merely stand and fight with me, you coward. Nick Rodriguez trying to pull down on the neck, getting successful at kind of disrupting a little bit of Luke. Fortunately, Luke's secret weapon about not getting broken is his douchebag nature. Two of them get over to the side of the left corner of the mat nearest the stage. They return back. This poor referee, I think this is the most work he's had to do all night, which is just basically making sure the two of these guys don't fall off the stage. Ooh, for a split second gets in on another side, and now it looks like Rockhold's just trying to kind of club and dig with as much as just getting close to strikes as possible over on Rodriguez here. The two of them clinch again. Nothing great happening here. Rodriguez just using a lot of his power to try and weigh down on Luke as much as possible. Drags him down. Gets him all the way to the front of the mat. Rockhold comes back in on over. I won't be surprised if he sticks that right leg out again. Jesus Christ. Rockhold's posture is something to be discussed here. I think for a split second, even Rockhold's like passing kicks right over here are like the most like, whatever, bro. I don't even care, man. I'm just here to collect a paycheck, bro. Yep, drags him down. Gets on over this. Could you imagine if Luke Rockhold had charisma? He could have been a star. Yeah. It's hard, dude. I mean, being in the public eye is never easy, so I have some sympathy for that. I feel like they're now checking in on Luke's cut again right now, so there's a momentary break in action. I feel like one of the things we generally tell people is to just learn how to be yourself. And then in the case of Luke Rockhold, we're like, well, do you have another self or something that you could be? Because, like, this one's, it's okay. But, you could be somebody else if you want, Luke. I feel, though, that sometimes you do things that are perceived as being more douchebaggy. And he was always somebody who, just the way he would come off in interviews and do stuff, is I was always like, do you mean to be this way? Or it's just you being standoffish? Did they just misquote you? It's just certain things about the way that people act. You can never tell if that's truly their nature or if they're just being played up for that moment. So I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But that posture of like when you're grappling and just like, whatever, man, come at me, bro. You comment on what it is. And the dude's shirt is tucked in. Like, it's just so funny. It is the like true signature. He is the older guy here. It's like your dad tucking in his shirt into his sweatpants, and you're just like, you've given up here. Okay, that's fine. But I will say this, good looking dude. So that's my one positive on Luke Rockhold. That's why we call him the Ken doll on the show. Back to standing, 9 minutes left to go. Rockhold gets spun around for a split second. Yes, and Rodriguez is able to go ahead and sift him down. Rodriguez already working on the back here. This is not great. This is like Rodriguez's best area. He's going to use his whole body to weigh down on Luke, which is pretty sizable. If this is 230, that is not somebody you want to baby bird down with you. And the thing that you're finding more with Nick Rodriguez is you already knew that if he gets under your chin, he's just going to use all of his strength to just power the fuck out of you. Here, Rodriguez just putting a lot of shoulder pressure from mount, which to jiu-jitsu folk isn't the worst place in the world to be, but the amount of power that you expand trying to get out of this could be sizable. And now that he's learning more and more from the Danaher Death Squad and getting to work in with those guys, like Nicky, it's really easy to like look at the fact that, yeah, he hasn't trained for a while and think that that's a disadvantage. But then you have to figure like how quickly he's come in a short amount of time. They recenter him back to the middle of the mats. Rodriguez still in mount. And Rockhold, this is where it's going to get interesting. I mean, we're going to get the first real big test of Nicky Rodriguez with a UFC fighter of this caliber to be able to see if he can do something here from the mount, because traditionally his better moments are attacking the arms, like in that Kimura side, or usually attacking from the back. The mount is not something we see a ton with Nick Rodriguez, mostly because the high-level grapplers don't stay here for long or they create space. the longer you're in this position with Nicky Rodriguez, the more you give him the opportunity. And as he does, he starts to almost look like he wants to sift over to the back for a split second, trying to separate the arms. Rodriguez doing a pretty good job here, I think, of maintaining this mount. This is where Rodriguez is going to want to make a big impression in the judges' minds. If these are going to be periods of time, which are 3 5-minute ways in which we evaluate a 15-minute round, Rodriguez is going to be able to make a pretty compelling note here that he's, and he's off. All right, so for this period, which is now that second period, you could very easily see Rodriguez is going to take that dumps Luke Rockhold into the camera crew. And he's back up. We return back center. 6:26 left to go. Luke Rockhold's old man strength mentality not really affecting young Nick Rodriguez, who just wants to beat the fuck off of him. What's up, Forlin? All right, they return again back to the center of the mat. We should almost be counting. Take a drink after every time they return him back to the center of the mat. That's a fun game to play. Luke's still trying to keep that distance between the two of them. I don't think he wants to go over it. You know, he doesn't want to overexert any kind of leverage here. I think he really wants to make sure that if he's going to have Nick Rodriguez in trouble, that he needs to get him to the ground here. And I don't think he wants to concede and pull guard. Will Luke start going for takedowns or anything now that he's clearly losing? No. Because UFC stars or MMA guys, and this is generalization, will more than likely be okay losing when they don't get submitted because they won't view it necessarily as bad of a loss than if he shot in for something here. And I think this is a little bit more conducive to one Luke Rockhold, where they'd be content being like, okay, he beat me by points or by judge's decision, whatever. Last period. If he was saving it, this would be the time to start. Rockhold just trying to put a lot of force into getting Nick Rodriguez off his game. I mean, pushing him off mat continuously is, I think, part of the tactics of this. I don't know how effective it is being thus far in. The question is, who won the first period? Because the second period clearly belongs over to one Nick Rodriguez. I think you would have to say Nick won the first period as well. Because there was nothing really happening in there, but at least Nick was kind of pushing forward. I guess that's enough to go and give somebody the round. If you guys feel differently, hit me up on that. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and add this one. Delete. Here we go. Boom. Retweet on this side. What's up, Alan V. BJJ? You're joining us for the last 4 minutes of this match between Luke Rockhold and Nicky Rodriguez, which is okay. For a split second, I thought Luke was going to try and hit an uppercut here. Nicky Rodriguez starting to find his way in a couple times here. It does look like he's starting to disrupt. Oh, slip down. Rockhold was waiting for that. He looked like he wanted to try and sprawl and be on top of Nick Rodriguez in that exchange. Didn't quite get his witch. One of the best things about Nicky Rodriguez is his evasive maneuvering. Like, he's a big guy, but he moves well. And so even if he does shoot in, he doesn't stay in that position. He already, like, escapes out of it so that somebody can't sprawl down on him and bring their weight on him. You know, there's a really smart strategy the way he does his stuff. I do appreciate Nicky Rodriguez's tenacity as well as, like, his resilience. It is fun to watch there. 3 minutes left to go. So, Cash, as you were saying, is Luke going to try for a takedown here? No. I think he wants to try and win this stand-up exchange. Now, hunched over a little bit, you can see it's starting to grade over on Rockhold. There's only 2:50 left to go, so if we are going to see him shoot in, this would be the time. But his posture is all about standing tall and trying to get Nicky to shoot in. Now telegraphing that right leg again. Now almost starting to run away. Nicky has a body lock, but they're out of space on the mats. At this point, we should really just put them in a cage, you know? Rockhold getting his ego hurt. I mean, I don't think Rockhold has enough humility, or at least perceived humility. The shirt is untucked. Shit is about to get real. I know. I actually thought that Rockhold was going to go ADCC style sans rash guard as well. Is Polaris 12 tonight? It's now. Like, it's now, bro. So, welcome. It's about to end. I started that drinking game and killed 3 beers in 5 minutes. You're welcome. Here at Grappling Hour, we make sure that you get drunk in an efficient manner. I don't know that this is a letdown of a match as much as it is kind of what we expected. Luke trying to go back over to telegraphing, take my right leg. Here we go. 1:30 left to go in the main event of Polaris 12. Luke is now looking like most dads after Thanksgiving and 4 beers. Is it worth $10? If you like grappling, it's good to endorse and give it. You could also do a free trial. You didn't hear that from me. Create a fake account. Oh, snap down over by Nick. And Luke gets just behemothly structured all the way over to that. Is Luke winning? Definitely not. No. Especially right now, he's getting a little overwhelmed. Third Coast Grappling, December 7th. Hey, I didn't pay for that advertisement. You can't do that. You guys pay me, I'll go ahead and promote that. But yes, that is happening next Saturday. Very much looking forward to Bo and Gordon Ryan. And finally, you do see Nick Rodriguez getting his takedown in. Gets it in. Doesn't want to be a part of any headlock. Ooh, Luke's getting motivated with 30 seconds left to go. Here we go. No, poor Luke. There's no sympathy for him here. We're good. Here we go. Last 17 seconds. Luke is content on being, I guess, the runner-up in this prize show over here. Nick Rodriguez is going to do it. Is Luke winning? No. Jason Miley, Stewart, here we go. Thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate you guys all watching this. Right now, we're going to expire the time. The two of them exchange a quick bro slap to each other. Nick Rodriguez is back to posing like a 5-year-old. And they now are coming over with the results. Luke pats him on the back, looks at his eye, and says, God damn it, now I'm not pretty anymore. At least that's my interpretation of what's happening. Could be wrong. We await the final decision coming up right now. Luke, now also wondering why he wore a white shirt. Because there is blood on the dance floor there. That was not super great. Luke is a great grappler, but Nick is a young athletic guy who is groomed for competition. That's fair. It should also be noted that Nick was able to make this match what he wanted. And Luke didn't have a ton of variation to get this match to what he wanted it to be. So that's a big respect into the game plans of, Nick Rodriguez and his team, including the Danaher Death Squad. And, I mean, if you're somebody like Danaher, you're looking at Nick Rodriguez and just thinking of the possibilities of, what happens when I teach this guy this. And while he may not possess Gordon Ryan's grappling IQ per se, I think that Nick Rodriguez more than makes up for it with grappler tenacity. Oh, look, Luke's taking off his shirt now. And is pointing at Nick Rodriguez. He waited all the way till now. Nick Rodriguez, unanimous decision. Luke Rockhold. You know what it is? I think Luke Rockhold just didn't want to be upstaged with the shirt offedness. I think he looked over at Nick Rodriguez and was like, shit, he's going to make me look bad. He's done more sit-ups than me. God damn it. Nick Rodriguez, realizing his medal was facing the wrong way. Nick Rodriguez also apparently out of air. And now is thanking his sponsors, which is very nice. Applause break. Josh Palmer goes to ask him a second question. That's what I thought. Nick Rodriguez responds by saying, he was trying to bait me to take the leg, and nah, I wasn't going to do that, bro. What's up, 10th Planet Covina? Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing very well. Nick Rodriguez says, give me more legends, essentially becoming a real-life version of Ryback's Feed Me More. Luke Rockhold is going to be interviewed by Josh Palmer now. Luke says that he's used to playing a matador. Says the kid is tough. I mean, he's apologizing for the fact that they were stuck on the feet trying to get in on each other. Here's the thing. In a situation like that, it would have been nice to see him pull guard. Because it would have put him there, but I think that he didn't want to have somebody with that much power playing on top to him being on the bottom. Now, Luke, douchebaggedly, now probably flirting with people in the audience, I think. And it looks like Josh is asking if he's going to stay in grappling. He says that he enjoys this because it takes him away from the political bullshit he has to deal with in the UFC. Thanks for your interview recap. I turn off the audio because yours is better. Aw, thank you. You're the real heroes. I wish I could put that one up on the actual telecast, but I appreciate that. We always try to give you guys something fun whenever we have events like this. We like to get the people together. We like to get you guys to be entertained, do something fun, a little bit different. And let's be honest, I can be a little bit more off the cuff here than they can be. And Josh Palmer isn't funny, And I love when they say the runner-up. Like, when you say someone is a runner-up in a match, like, there were no more other people competing in this match. So, yeah, they are the runner-up. I understand we have to be nice about it, but it doesn't mean we have to completely invent phraseology for them. And now you've got Josh Palmer closing out with Dan Hardy over on their side. So that means telecast goes off. Anyway, thank you guys for joining in. I couldn't be happier that you guys joined us. It was a lot of fun. I think we learned a lot today. We learned that Ash Williams is the truth, and I'm going to send out a request to him. Ash, if you're watching this, or you have somebody who's watching this on your behalf, expect to hear from me very soon. We're going to be looking to interview you. What's up, Chino? Then we also learned today that Michelle Niccolini, or Michelle, still beast, never counter out. Tommy Langton, also super beast, very happy for him. This kid he's powerful. He was able to neutralize a lot of Gilbert Dorino Burns, who also looked actually not bad in the gi. I was very happy that he was able to take the bigger challenge and take on the gi challenge in this one. And of course, PJ Barch coming up victorious in his return back with a pretty good match against Marcin Held. That's one of those ones that he was saying he wished that his cardio was back. And if you know anything about PJ Barch, it's that he always brings a really good game. So I'm not super worried about that one. And then, of course, you didn't need to watch the other match for the main card. That one's okay. I don't want to make you guys watch a match. That's not good. So I'm just going to kind of nicely gloss over it. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think that was great about today? What are you looking forward to now? What do you think of the main storylines? Do you think that Luke Rockhold will stay with grappling? Do you feel that Nick Rodriguez is a black belt slayer? And sub-question, who would you like to see him take on next? Do you have other questions about the people who were competing here today? They're showing the great toe hold by one, Michelle Niccolini, which was mwah, if you have not seen it. Dan Hardy reps hashtag Wu-Tang Forever. Yeah, dog, it's for the kids. Though I will say, I almost feel like Wu-Tang is a commodity now at this point. Half the time I look at somebody who wears a Wu-Tang shirt, and I'm like, did you really listen to them when we were kids? You can just get suspicious, that's all. But hey, everybody can play along. That's perfectly fine. If you guys get the opportunity, why are you showing Gilbert with this one opportunity of trying to get a knee bar that was not there on Tommy? No. show Tommy beasting and getting those omoplata setups if you're going to show up. Any highlights on that one? But yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. I got a couple minutes. I can take your questions. I can give you jokes. And then here's what we got going on for the rest of the week here on Grappling Hour. Later this week, we will be interviewing one, I believe it is Ryan from Third Coast Grappling, checking in with him. Then we will also be, can you sum up what happened in the match? Red Panty Net. Which match? Are you talking about the Nick Rodriguez and Luke Rockhold match? Hit me up. Let me know if that's the one you want me to recap. I was going to say Gomez. So, also this week, we will have a technique video and an interview with Leandro Gomez. Leandro Gomez is a beast. Are you doing Quintet? It's on my birthday. Well, first off, happy birthday to you. I don't know, because that is the week of Nogi Worlds. So there is a possibility, if the schedule allows it, that I may inquire into going to see it live. I went to the Quintet that was out in Vegas in October. Loved it. It was a lot of fun. So we'll see. But you were asking, yes, in return to what happened with Nicky Rodriguez and Luke Rockhold, not much. It was mostly on the feet for about a good 7 minutes. There was a cut that happened that made some of the action a little prolonged. Then once that was done, they had a moment where they had to split to make sure that Rockhold was okay. They covered the eye, a little injury over it. And then after that, they went straight into Nick Rodriguez getting a slam down on Luke and starting to work and take the back. Didn't really get too successful, made his way to mount. And then once he was there, Luke was able to get back up, and we were on the feet for the rest of the match. They clubbed and dug at one another, and it was okay. I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, because I think it went kind of the way I wanted it, or I thought it would. I would have liked to have seen it gone to the floor. But, you know, what do you expect? I mean, Nick Rodriguez has a certain style that he likes to do, and he's comfortable, and that makes a lot of grapplers uncomfortable playing that game. And I think that he was playing it very well. And I think that Luke Rockhold didn't have a contingency strategy if he was going to lose on the feet. I think he really wanted to try and make a statement. Mostly because the beasts that he does train with are really good. Buchecha is no slouch. And like one of our commenters said earlier, that Gordon has a heavy, heavy appreciation for his game as well, and says he's really one of the most underrated MMA grapplers there is, period. So there's that. I hope that summarizes that nicely for you. What did you think of PJ's comeback? Great. PJ, great. If you look at PJ's game, he is one of the most exciting grapplers, period. And the fact that he had to take a year and change off, and I know what he's capable of, and I think many of us know what he's capable of, there's always going to be a level of like, man, I wish he was faster, he was there. And like he previewed at the end of the show, where he was like, I wish my cardio was back up. His cardio wasn't bad tonight. Marcin Held is just a very dangerous opponent that you do have to take and compartmentalize, whatever the word is. But you have to take them in components and make sure that you're not neglecting it. Otherwise, your heel hook is going to be on you. So I thought that PJ looked great tonight, man. I look forward to seeing that. Thank you. That was a great breakdown. No problem. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, Red Panty Knight. How did you come up with that name? Were you just watching a Conor McGregor fight and said, this is the moniker I want to be known as on YouTube? Because that could say a lot of things, and you could get a lot of people searching your name that you were not expecting with that name. But you do you, boo. I'm looking forward to whatever's next for PJ. This was a big test for him to come back out, and it wasn't an easy opponent. And it was one that we were hoping to see over at Polaris. Quintet, when Polaris had a team on that last year. It just didn't happen. So, is what it is. But PJ is always going to be a beast, and I look forward to seeing him continue to just crush and do his thing. I also got the chance to take a class of his a couple months ago, and it was the first time I've seen him teach. And he has a very good teaching style. I was very afraid that the shit he was going to teach, I was going to have to look at him and be like, bro, like, I can't. I don't. Mm-mm. But it wasn't like that. So, he was very good. What are the questions you guys got for me? Otherwise, I got a box of Oreos that I got to fucking crush because I'm fucking hungry and fatty got to eat because I've just been doing this straight for this morning. I didn't even eat because I wanted to give you guys the best breakdowns that could possibly happen. I sacrifice food, and if you look at how fat I am, you know that food is important to me. So think about that, people. And I didn't even do this all fucking day. I didn't even use the other cameras. Well, bam. Check that out. All right, back to that. I didn't really need to do a 3-camera setup. I had the other camera set up over here as well. I just chose not to use it today because I didn't really need to. I'm going to look and see real quick what Polaris put on their site. Yeah, I enjoy his teaching style. His teaching style is super rad, man. He's really good at what he does. Like, PJ a beast, and, you know, I think it's just a matter of time before he see him back to what he feels is his normal rate of being a beast. But for me, I'm like, yo, bro, he's really good. I'm trying to see what else we got for you guys. I'm going to look over in case you guys have missed. I'm going to show you what's happening over on the Polaris side over here. This was earlier. PJ Barch does take that decision victory earlier today. That was pretty dope. So that's what we were referring to over on that side. Then, meanwhile, you can see they've sifted through. The decision goes in Bones' favor. This is not my favorite match of the day. Congratulations to Devontae, though. It was a tough one. Look at this. This is one that I want to make sure we're on right now. Yo, respect to Michelle Nicolini. Look at this toe hold. It's a decent angle here of how much torque is on this, but I really want you guys to understand this is somebody who we don't get to see all the time grappling. And I think people sometimes sleep on how good she is. I have immense respect for Michelle Nicolini and could not be happier to see her come back into the winner's circle. So big respect to you, Michelle. Oh, she's so good. This was fun. This was the Gilbert Burns and Tommy match that happened. This was good. I don't know if you guys saw this in particular in the match, but there was a moment where I thought that Tommy could finish this armbar. It looked like he was starting to make the adjustments, but he didn't quite do it in time. Then, of course, he ends up getting the decision win, rightfully so. Big respect to him. This kid, I mean, just look at it. Look at that face. That face is... The only time I've ever had that face in my life is when I beast food. It was me after Thanksgiving this year. Congratulations to him. As more of these things become available, we will put them up a little bit later. But for right now, I want to make sure that you guys are enjoying your day and hopefully our day over on this side. It has been a fun day of grappling. It's been a fun day of discussing it with you. I've had a blast. If you are not following us, do so right now. Follow us at Grappling Hour. Follow us at Grappling Hour on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, all the ones, all of those major platforms. And then, if you so feel it, and you're so generous to do as such, give us a like and a breakdown of your love on at Verbal Tapcast. Because that's the main show. Kev has been out of town. We will be back to doing our show this week. We look forward to having you guys back on that. And I don't know if I'm in the mood to do one of these for Third Coast, but we will probably have Ryan on the air for us for that. What's up, A-Rod? Talk about the arm break. Okay. You're going to do that to me, huh? Okay, let me see if it's on somewhere that it's posted. But I don't know that I want to talk about it. It's so gross. And it really, like, Ash Williams is a beast, okay? Let's start with that. I don't know that they have the footage up because I only try to show the footage that they themselves put up. But it was bad. It was a really bad break on Red. And I want to start by prefacing by saying I hope that Red has a very good recovery. I hope he's okay. He's a friend of the show, and I think the world of the guy. But that was not good. All right, so let me see what I can find for you guys if there's any footage of it yet. Not even the footage. I just need to see if they have it on a photo of some sort, because it was like, do you see me kind of getting a little like it was gross. I'm gonna check one last thing on here and see if it's on there. Otherwise, I'll just have to describe it to you, and hopefully I don't pass out as I do it. UFC Fight Pass. Fight Pass has no clips of any part of this, which shows you how much they get behind grappling. All right, here we go. Here's how it happened. Sorry, I'm just trying to... So gross. So gross. Here's what happened. In the match, Ash Williams, Red Alarcon going up against one another. You see that Ash gets a really good arm drag over on Rich, kind of throws him off. The two of them go back center of the mat. When they get back over to center of the mat, it looks like now you see that Ash is feeling pretty good. He's got a good sense of confidence in terms of knowing Rich's game. He said that he scouted him out. He was aware of that he would try and shoot in on a low single, not just a regular single, but a low single. He does so, and when he does, Ash was ready to capitalize with a Kimura trap. Gets the arm, goes straight into a traditional arm bar, looks really solid. As Ash tries to escape, he bridges out, and then his arm gets stuck. So that as he's trying to like zigzag on his way after like bridging out of it, it gets stuck, and Ash gets it to go the other way, and it was nasty. It was rough. There was a split second where I thought, okay, if Red's going to get out of this, it's going to be in one of these few seconds right here, like at that very beginning of the traditional armbar. But once he had his arm completely torn the other way, there was no escape from that. So that arm break was great. Jack, to be very honest with you, I was very impressed by it. I also wanted to throw up a lot, because watching it live a couple times will do that to you. So that's what I got for you guys. The hard part for me is this. I know both of those gentlemen. I have a great appreciation for both. And obviously I'm very disappointed for Red in terms of being hurt. And I hope that he's okay. But I also don't want to undersell how amazing what Ash did. He read it perfectly. He had a game plan for it. He really did a great job on it. So, we're a little torn on that side, but so much respect over to one Ash Williams. Like I said, we're going to put a note out to him and try and get him on the show to talk about that. And I'm pretty sure he can do it without throwing up. And if he does want to throw up as he's describing it, at least it's on my show. So there it is. Your face as you describe the break. Well, yeah, do you remember it? How is your face not like that? Jesus Christ. Lee Altino says, "Hi man, what's your graduation in BJJ?" I don't know. Are you asking what rank I am? I am a purple belt in Jiu-jitsu. I'm not very good, but, they gave me a purple. So, there you go. Thanks, man. Great breakdown. I I appreciate that. I don't know how happy I am about you making me relive it, but I appreciate you asking, because I think it's a great moment. I think people should go back and watch it, and I think they should see it, because if I'm talking like highlight of Polaris, I think that's it. I think that's the replay moment that you see from this one. So, just, I don't like having to relive it. It's like having someone be like, I missed that snuff film. Can you just describe it to me? And then what happened? Ooh, it sounds bad. And then what happened? It's like, fuck, I don't want to. Gross. Anyway. Yes, Chino, I know what I look like. I'm pretty sure I look as dumb as I thought I would on that. But yes. But yeah, I mean, it was a great one. So I would tell you guys, go back, watch this event, watch that one, watch PJ's match. Obviously, you could almost skip Nick Rodriguez and Luke Rockhold, but I'm pretty sure there is. This makes me think of Mir versus Nogueira. Yeah, I remember watching that one, and honestly, I thought that it's supposed to get better. The more you do grappling and jiu-jitsu, that you're supposed to become a little bit more desensitized to it. I think it might be getting worse for me in the sense that I didn't know as much about jiu-jitsu there, and it just looked like, oh no, that's terrible. Now it's like it's coming before it's happening, and that almost makes it worse, where you go, no, oh, gross. So I can't tell which is worse, blissful ignorance or just now starting to know how they set it up and seeing it happen like a horror film. Who knows? But yes, similar, still gross. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna do it for us. I think we're expanding our time here. Like I said, this week, Leandro Gomez, a great interview, plus a great technique. If you guys like knee bars, he's got a great setup that he's actually pulled off in an MMA fight that I thought was pretty dope, and I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So check us out. That's happening, I think, tomorrow. It depends on how fast I get the editing done today. But the techniques are done. I just got to redo the interview real quick in terms of finishing the polish on the sound on that. And you guys should see that going up tomorrow. And then, we'll interview Ryan, I guess, from Third Coast Grappling, and then that's it. We've got a lot of interviews coming up very soon that I'm very excited about. So if you like our show, add us at Grappling Hour, all major platforms. We're also going to debut a new segment that I cannot wait to show you guys. And since you've stuck this long, I'm going to show it to you guys. I hope that you guys are excited for this new segment. I'm going to move over to the side. This new segment that we're going to do is going to actually bring some light to some grapplers that I think is going to be really cool because, let's face it, you guys don't have a highlight reel show. And even though we can't always get the footage for it, I think it's important that sometimes we actually get people recognized for the great jiu-jitsu work that they do. And in a segment that we like to call, it's time that we put some respect on that name. If you guys were watching this on the YouTube version or the Facebook version, you would see there's a graphic there, but you're probably watching on Instagram, so you'll see it soon enough. Anyway, this is going to be a new segment that we do where we're going to highlight somebody that we think is doing something great in jiu-jitsu. A leading candidate this week could very easily be one Ash Williams. And I wouldn't be surprised if we film one of those, but it's going to be stuff. So if you guys know that people are doing great things in jiu-jitsu and you ever feel you want to pass them my way for this segment, or that you see some footage of them that does not get owned by Flow Grappling or Fight Pass, it'd be great if you pass it on this way because we'd love to give them some shine. So I'm very much looking forward to doing this segment. Boom. That actually works pretty good. Boom. And I think it's going to be actually a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. My thanks to all of you guys who have been tuning in. It's been a blast. It's been a great day. So add us on at Grappling Hour, all major platforms. Check out our stuff. Check out our breakdowns. Check out our interviews. We are not short on content, and we're going to end this year very strong. As always, it's your good friend Rafa Esparza saying, it's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you on the mats.